Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It's me again. I know I normally use my scripture verse in the middle or towards the end, but we're going to start off with the scripture verse right off the bat, and that is Matthew 5:37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. Anything more than these comes from evil. Now that's Jesus speaking, by the way. And what that simply means is just answer yes or no. Let your yes be a yes without any explanation, and let your no be a no without any explanation, because there is no explanation needed. Otherwise known as justification. Okay, now yesterday, 328, at a press conference, Mr. Ted Cruz was asked a question to put an end to the National Enquirer story about his supposed infidelity. And the reporter asked this very simple yes or no question. He says, by telling us on the record that you have never been unfaithful to your wife. Now, all Ted Cruz has to say is, no, I have never been unfaithful to my wife. And I think it's important to point out that he never says no, nor does he ever say yes. In fact, he never answers the question, period. Carly interrupts because she is standing right next to Ted Cruz. And she says, I'd like to say something. I'd like to say something. And the reporter says, wait a minute, do you have personal firsthand knowledge on the man's marital affairs with his, or marital relationship with his wife? You have personal information? You can answer for Ted Cruz about his marriage? And she says, I'm going to make a statement. And then she begins to attack, surprise, surprise, Donald Trump. I think it's just terrible that we're going into the gutter because Donald Trump planted this story, went into the gutter, and made up this story about that Ted Cruz. And she says, when Donald Trump is a serial philanderer by his own admission. Now, if you don't know what a philanderer is a man that loves beautiful women. He has a beautiful wife, and he has several beautiful girlfriends. 4, 5, 6, whole bunch of them. That's what a philanderer is. Okay? And yes, Donald Trump has said in the past that has documented and admitted that he has had several extramarital affairs. He's a philanderer, okay, but he's not a philanderer anymore. He has one wife. He has no girlfriends. Okay? So, again, they're dragging up his past. See what they're doing? That's a character assassination. And then Mr. Ted Cruz says, I've never attacked Donald Trump personally. Well, you're standing right there, Ted Cruz, and you're letting this woman bring up the past of Donald Trump, who, when Donald Trump wasn't even the question, and you're allowing her to do this. So yes, you are allowing Donald Trump to be attacked, as well as his character to be attacked and assassinated, and you just sit there and remain quiet. So Carly continues talking about there's other things that we should be talking about, more newsworthy things, like the Brussels thing. Yep, that's true. We should be talking about that. That is definitely not much newsworthy, but it still doesn't answer the question, Ted. Have you ever been unfaithful to your wife. And then she talks about how bad and terrible President Obama's actions are. Well, I'm not going to justify President Obama's actions. And yes, they're bad. Yes, he shouldn't be he shouldn't have even went to Cuba. But to be at a baseball game doing the wave and then at being filmed doing the tango while all this tragedy is happening in the world, but that still does not answer the question, Mr. Cruz, that you have never been unfaithful to your wife. So Carly finishes, and then the reporters refuse to give up. Good for them. Because Ted still hasn't said a word. It's just been Carly. So, again, they answer the question. Would you please just answer the question and put this to rest? Because that's all he has to do. But why doesn't he want to do that? And you have to remember, it was Ted Cruz that brought up Donald Trump into the National Enquirer story. The National Enquirer did not say, per Donald Trump. Nope. Ted Cruz. Donald Trump didn't even know that the story had come out. He didn't even read about it. And he even said, I hope it's not true, but I'm just going to continue on and go and campaign. In other words, he didn't care. But who cares? Ted Cruz cares. Why does Ted Cruz care? Because Ted Cruz got busted because Ted Cruz is fake. Okay? So in order to get yourself out of this, you got to slander the people. You got to say, hey, look, it's a setup. They're setting themselves up to say, well, look, hey, okay, fine. I had a weak moment, but Donald Trump is much worse than me. Why not just come clean, man? So anyway, the press conference progresses. And Ted supposedly is going to answer the question. That's what he says. I will answer your question. I will answer your question. And then he's got to come up with something to say. So then he asks the guy, what publication are you with? What the hell does it matter what publication he's with? Answer the damn question. And the guy says, the Daily Mail. And then Carly jumps in. Oh, they're the ones that they chased or followed my granddaughters. And then everything just breaks loose. Still haven't answered the question. So Ted Cruz says, I will answer your question. I will answer your question if you just stop interrupting me. The guy never interrupted him. He didn't say anything. Carly was the one interrupting. Carly interrupted him. So then Ted Cruz says the same thing that he's always been saying, all without answering the question. He says that the National Enquirer story is gutter trash tabloid garbage. And I'm surprised you're allowing Donald Trump, like Donald Trump wrote there he is attacking Donald Trump again. Donald Trump didn't have anything to do with this. But again, you got to deflect. You got to make the other guy look like bad. Like we wouldn't even be talking about this unless Donald Trump. What else is Donald Trump going to do? How else bad as Donald Trump is? And Donald Trump didn't do it. He's just sitting over there running his own campaign. So he never answers the question. He says it's a complete lie and totally untrue. But Mr. Ted Cruz, you never went on the record that you have never been unfaithful to your wife. Now, this is why, folks, you don't let man represent your God. He's supposed to be a Christian, right? So, what is he afraid of? Why are you afraid of telling the truth? The only people that are afraid of the truth are the people that have something to hide. If you've never, ever been unfaithful to your wife, just say, no, I have never been unfaithful to my wife. Okay? But you see, he has to keep this going because he's got to deflect and take the attention away off of him because this exposes him. Now, folks, if you are so naive that you believe that senators, congressmen, people of that much political power don't do bad, immoral things, I got some swampland out in Nevada to sell you. Let me give you a quote. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. No, folks, Ted Cruz is not a Christian. He's been exposed, and what he is so most deathly afraid of now is that the truth will come out, when my Bible tells me that the truth makes you free. So this is what you need to do. You need to make up your own mind. Listen to what these people are saying. And here's what you have to do, what we all have to do individually. We each need to choose this day who we will serve.